Good afternoon again, and I'll just get this right so I can deal with that. I've just been tidying up because I'm at home today, not at work, because I'm losing, my demon recently. Took a bit of time on. Yeah, spirits at me again. Basically. And there's a message from Mary Magdalene about to come through for us all. So let's just see what message from Mary Magdalene. Beautiful Mary Magdalene. We all need to hear. Okay. Number 15. Thou that walk the path of love, walk thy path as the Christed essence of divine feminine and masculine in pure harmonic balance. Makes sense. I've just come online and posted a twin flame reading online about an hour ago, I'd say. And the twin flame path, that's better, stops the glare. The twin flame path, the path back to self is by balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies out in self. And also the path back to not only your inner union, but your twin flame union, whatever path that may be to you. Every twin flame path is individual. We are all on our own individual sacred paths, not one or the same. But yeah, balancing the divine feminine and masculine in pure harmonic balance. That is this journey in a nutshell. We do start the journey, when we are awakened, to our twin flame journey. We are set upon a journey of balancing our divine feminine energy and our divine masculine energies out in us. And by balancing them two energies out in self, we come into harmony, with ourselves first and foremost, and also we create harmony and balance in our twin flame connection. And yeah, I've seen it on the process of me balancing my divine feminine and divine masculine, has healed my twin and vice versa. We are one. There's no separation, although there's the illusion of separation. There is never separation. We're one soul, two bodies, always in union, just not in the physical. But yeah, I knew there was a message following on from the twin flame message that I did. And you don't get any more clearer than the divine feminine and masculine on this path. That's what this path is. It's a balancing out of the two energies. See any more, Spirit? Not from that pack. this pack. Definitely about the twin flames coming through. So let's see. I don't know if this pack feels heavy. It felt heavy on the last reading that I've not been able to post. The energy in the cards felt very, very heavy. Yeah, feeling a lot lighter. I'll see if there's any messages in here for us. I'm thinking there is. Messages for the twin flame. Yeah, I was just about to just settle down for the afternoon after doing, you know, housework and everyday normal, you know, reality things. I don't spend all my time in spirit. Although, you know, me being the divine feminine on this journey, like at the beginning of my path, I did spend a lot of time more in the 5D, because I was, you know, I was figuring it out. I was yeah, I was figuring this, you know, this journey out. Basically, I was still all up in the 5D, all up in spirit. But as I've moved through this journey, I've grounded, you know, I've grounded my energy. I've balanced the divine feminine energy, and I've balanced the divine masculine energy out in me. And how I did this is I went into the deepest, darkest depth of, yeah, I recovered my soul, basically. Not to sound too dramatic, but I went into this deep, dark void of the dark night. And I've just been speaking about the dark night to one of my siblings, who I happen to think is going through her own dark night. This is the message. I've been getting a lot of downloads to talk about the dark night more and more. More people need to know about it. Yeah, and my sister rang me about an hour ago, and she's going through things in her life that are, you know, yeah, the spiritual awakening, so to speak, but other things as well in everyday life. You know, just because we have a spiritual awakening doesn't mean that our everyday life automatically, you know, slots into place. In fact, a spiritual awakening turns everything upside down on its head, you know. But yeah, I've just been speaking about the dark night to my sister, and I'm pretty sure she's gone into her dark night. She's you know, she's going through a lot in the physical, you know, and in the inner self, and many years she's been going through this, and I'm sure she won't mind me talking about it if it helps others. And you know, trauma's brought a lot on for her, and that's what brought on my awakening was, yeah, separation from my twin flame, that trauma of my soul knowing, you know, yeah, soul shock. That's what happens with me. But yeah, but we're all individual, you know, we're all on our own soul path. And yeah, so my sister, I'm pretty 100% sure she's entered into her dark night, because of the trauma that's triggered it. And I was just explaining this to her. The dark night, you know, you're going into your shadows. You're doing that really deep inner work that it takes to, you know, come out to this light. So you're going into your shadows, and yeah, your deepest, darkest corners, you know, your psyche, if you've not had a dark night, you can't really explain it. Just like the twin flame journey, if you're not a twin flame, you can't explain it to people. It's unexplainable. dark nights like that. It's part of my twin flame journey. I can't speak for other twin flames, but it was definitely part of mine. And what I know of it, it's definitely part of the twin flame journey. It's that deeper healing, you know. But also, other people can experience a dark night. You don't have to be a twin flame to experience a dark night. My knowing, I just feel like it's part of an individual's path. If they're going to experience it, they will, you know. It's an individual path. Soul path is what I'm saying. It's to each individual. But yeah, I was just speaking about this to her, and I'm pretty sure she's in her own dark night. Maybe just the beginning of it, going into that void, that deep dark cave of hopelessness. Yeah, that's that spiritual seclusion as well, you know, because the dark night takes you away from people, it takes you away from your family, your friends, to really heal and go into deep introspection and healing. It needs to be done alone, you know. That's the way. There's many times on this journey, especially my dark night stage, I got took away from my family, my friends, you know, everything I'd ever known. And that the dark night strips everything from you, everything you've ever known, everything you've ever believed in. Yeah, it's a death and a rebirth is the dark night, and that's not exaggerating. You do die, but not in the physical sense, you know. You die to be reborn spiritually, to actually find the true inner you. And I've just echoed this to my sister who feels hopeless, and you know, there's no way out, there's no light. I've just said to her, this dark void that you're in, it is your light. It's leading you to finding your light. You know, you don't go through something this deep and dark and painful to just stay in this dark, you know. It's leading you to this light. Yeah, just after about an hour speaking to her, she calmed down. And that's another thing twin flames do, you know, the chosen ones, so to speak. We are awakeners. Everyone I come into contact with, I awaken. That's part of what I do on my you know, my soul path. And we are guides for others. We are here to, you know, help and guide others into this new golden age that we're in. So yeah, all this dark shadow work and the void and the dark nights of the soul and the kundalini, all for me, was leading me to finding my light and guiding others to their light, you know. I don't class myself as a healer, I'm not. I know that each and every one of us, my sacred knowledge knows, we all have this healing inside us. We are our own healers, you know. Just sometimes we need to be shown that, we need to remember that, just like I've had to remember through all my healing of my path and opening up, you know, yeah, going into my shadows and opening up my light. I've had to remember, you know, we all are our own healers. You know, nobody has that power over us to heal us. We hold that inside us already. And I remember way before my twin flame journey, I was very poorly for many years, been through a lot of health issues myself at a young age. I remember thinking to myself, it's an inside out job, this. It cannot just be, you know, surface level. I knew it was leading me to something more, but I wasn't on the twin flame journey then. This only happened 7 years ago. I had 15 years prior to this twin flame journey of ill health and, yeah, quite a traumatic everyday life, let's say, you know. But I knew even back then, my knowing of myself even back then, although it was It was quite masked back then. I'd not done the healing that I've done now. I didn't have that sacred knowledge I do now. But somewhere deep in my soul remembered that I was my own healer. Nobody could heal me. I was my own healer. And then, yeah, it set me on a journey, let's say. But the real journey started not, those 15 years that I was ill. I thought that was the real journey. I thought that was the real test. No, 7 years ago, that's when my true journey back to my soul started. Was when I entered this, when I woke up to being a twin flame. That's when my journey started. So yeah, it's quite. I've just had, like I say, had this conversation with my own sister. She feels in this space. She feels all lost and hopeless, and I just had to remind her she's never lost, And when you are lost, it's usually making a breakthrough, It's that breaking down is usually a breakthrough, But yeah, it's quite quite strange how I've just come straight back up to my room and the Dark Knight card, which I think this is totally the Dark Knight, I don't think you get any more Dark Knight than this. This card takes you to connecting on a deeper level or complex feelings. In the Dark Knight, you have to go into all that to heal it, to balance your divine feminine and your masculine energies out, I'm going to pull one more card because I'm feeling I have to, and I'm just thinking the rose is coming through. The rose oracle. Let's have a look what this says. On the cards upside down. There we go. Let's see. One last card. The bud came up. It's potential and it's promise and it's about to happen and it's keep going. And these are the words I've just spoken to my sister, because she feels all lost in that dark night and that hopelessness. And when you are in a dark night, it's the most hopelessness you're ever going to feel in your entire life. And mine lasted probably about over a year and a half. Mine lasted, and it can last a very long time. But you do merge out into the light, and you do merge out into being more balanced. That divine feminine and masculine is more balanced when you merge out of this. But yeah, this says keep going. Yeah, again, just speaking to my sister about that resistance there. She goes, I just feel like I'm at a dead end, she can't go on. But I just basically said to her, you need to keep going, you've got no choice, On my journey, hope always came up, the word hope. And I never lost sight of that word. It's just a 4-letter word, hope. But it meant so much to me to hang on to that, because the minute I let go of hope is the minute that I lost myself, that was it. But it just kept coming, back around for me, hope, and I've always spoken of that. It was that hope of a better future for myself. It was that hope of being healed. It was that hope of coming out of that dark night that kept me going. If I wouldn't have kept on going, like this card says, I would still be in there. I would still be lost in this deep dark void. it was that hope that you know, that kept me moving forward. And basically, yeah, I knew if I let go of hope, I'd let go of everything. I had to hang on to it, you know, with every inch of my life, especially in this energy. You need hope when you're in the dark night. Because yeah, it's called dark night for a reason. You do, and you know, this card, keep going. Once you're heading in that direction in the dark night, you can't turn back. It's forward trajectory or nothing. You can't go back, you know. You're just going to go back into your shadows, back into that dark. You can't. You've got to keep your eye on this light, you know. And yeah, keep going. Spirit's saying, keep going. I think that's it. I'm going to keep this a short one because I've been on a few times today. Spirit's having me work a lot today. But that's the path of a twin flame and a light worker. Yeah, you just got to go with it. It is the path, you know. Yeah, that's it. There's no more messages coming through. Can feel it. So yeah, that balance of the, you know, the Christed essence of divine feminine and masculine in pure harmonic balance. That's the path, you know. Thou that walk the path of love, walk their path, you know, as the Christed essence of divine feminine and masculine in pure harmonic balance. And if you've been following me, that's what my channel is all about. Love, unconditional love, compassion for self, compassion for others. This is what this path has brought me to knowing in myself that, you know, we all hold that in us. Once you balance the divine feminine, divine masculine out, that's when that balance, you know, comes back to you. That knowing of really all we are is love. Love is the highest frequency, you know, we can give to each other. Especially on this time, you know, this time on earth, this new golden age we're all in. Yeah, that frequency of love, well, it can change things, you know. It is changing things. It creates that ripple, and it reaches out. But yeah, this is what this journey's taught me. Going into this darkness was all bringing me back to that love in self and love for others, and, you know, balancing all that out and spreading that out. Yeah, and guiding others on their path. I'm going to leave it there. And yeah, so I think the message is, you know, what you heal in yourself is not just to be kept to self, it's to help others. And, you know, spread that love out. And then that keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. And before we know it, we've got a better planet, you know, we've got a better new earth, you know. We've got a more loving, more balanced, even more balanced. Because when I talk about the divine feminine energy, the divine feminine energy is rising, but it's also coming back for masculines too. So it's not just specific to, you know, inner feminine. Masculines are also bringing this back to themselves as well. You know, it's returning back to the masculine gender. So it's about that balance, that Shiva Shakti. You know, that they always come to my mind, and Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. You know, many twin flames throughout time. Yeah, it's that cosmic dance. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope somebody needed to hear this message. I'm sure many did. And this one's for you, sis. Thank you. Bye.